After nearly a week of exhausting travel and hiding from infected, Canterlot was finally in sight. To the travel-weary ponies, it looked like a golden gate to heaven, and their spirits, refreshed, they picked up their pace with renewed vigor. By sundown, they were within the safe confines of Canterlot City, and there was a little hassle with the guards over letting in so many new ponies, but eventually they were granted access. Rainbow Dash was guessing it was because Twilight was with them, and Twilight immediately went to greet the princess. Rainbow Dash followed. She really wanted to know how the test was going with the zombies she had captured. Upon seeing Celestia's top student, the entrance guards immediately allowed her inside, but barred the entrance from Rainbow Dash. "Hey, what gives?" voiced a very annoyed Rainbow Dash. "It's okay, she's with me," informed Twilight. With a grunt, they opened the entryway, and the two mares continued walking. The royal castle looked so empty without all the nobles and whatnot. Rainbow Dash could guess what had happened. Princess Celestia had told her about the attack Canterlot had suffered before the force field was up. Twilight, however, had yet to find out. Celestia greeted the duo when they had entered her throne room. She looked exceptionally happy to see Twilight still breathing. Rainbow Dash trotted over to one of the stained glass windows while the two were catching up, and became lost in thought. At first, she was worried about Princess Luna. Had her symptoms developed? Dash knew it was slower for her. Was she in pain? And then she turned. Would she still have the powers of a goddess after she turned? While Dash dwelled on the matter, although another thought came to mind. Maybe the princess could use her powers to do one last thing of good and fight the undead. If she saved the quarantine zones, maybe Canterlot could build up an army from the survivors, clear out the towns, and save Equestria. The thought of a holocaust, whether it was necessary or not, made Rainbow Dash a little sick to her stomach. However, she knew that these things were already dead and rotting, and a cure would be useless on them. That could only be the solution. "Rainbow Dash, I understand you wish to speak with me." Celestia's voice cut through Dash's emotions and thoughts, and she quickly snapped back to reality. Yeah. About the research that's been conducted. How's it going?" questioned Dash. "We're making amazing progress, but there's still a lot of ground to cover. I hear that Dr. Test Tube has found something interesting. I can have my guard show you the way, should you wish to speak with him." Yeah, that'd be great. How's Princess Luna doing?" Celestia let out a weak sigh. Her condition is worse. The fever is frighteningly high, at 106 degrees. Now her eyes have turned bloodshot, and her breathing's forced. However, those conditions have been seen in average victims at 3 hours after infection. "I'm sorry to hear that. I think I'll go talk to the doctor now." "As you wish. Iron Spear, Silver Wing, show her the way." "Yes, Your Highness," responded the white Pegasus. With him was a little gray unicorn. Both were shiny golden armor that all the guards had. "Right this way, Miss Dash." The two guards led her through a maze of brightly lit and beautifully decorated hallways. They stopped at a small oak door. "Wait in there," Iron Spear informed. "You might want to put these on," warned Silverwing, handing Rainbow Dash a lab coat and a P-100 mask. "The scientists in there don't like taking risks. They still don't know if it's an airborne mutation happening right under their noses. And if you go in there without no protection, they'll take you and put you into quarantine." "Thanks," stated Rainbow Dash, donning the lab coat and slipping on the mask. She pressed the mold to fit her face, then slowly opened the oak door. It produced a rather loud creaking noise, and when she closed it, the weight of the door caused it to slam. When she reached the bottom of the stairs, Dash was confronted by two ponies wearing full hazardous material suits. "Stop! What in the hell do you think you're doing here?" yelled one on the left, obviously annoyed by her presence in the lab. Celestia sent me to speak with Dr. Test Tubes, Rainbow Dash responded coolly. So, would you pretty please let me pass through? Alright, no need to get cocky. You can find him in Subject Testing Room 206, said the pony on the right. Rainbow Dash trotted by, and when she was out of earshot of the two, she said under her breath, "Assholes." Following their directions, Dash arrived at the room. The room had a large sign by the door that read 206. Under the number, it said, Subject Testing. Looks like this is the room, Rainbow Dash thought to herself. Taking a breath of filtered air, she brought her hoof up to the door and knocked loudly. After a couple of seconds, Dash heard a soft click, and the door opened, revealing an old brown earth pony wearing a lab coat and mask, similar to Rainbow Dash's. His cutie mark was a glass tube filled with purple liquid. "Yes, can I help you, miss?" The doctor's voice was rough and scratchy with age. His facial expression was that of mild annoyance. Behind him, Rainbow Dash could see two ponies with hazmat suits, both poking a zombie with various objects. Dash recognized the zombie. It was the one she had brought in for testing. "Princess Celestia told me you have an update on whatever's affecting the ponies?" Rainbow Dash answered, curious. "Ah, yes!" he shouted, excitement taking over the annoyance. "I took a sample of that black fluid and put it under a microscope. It turns out that stuff is the result of body fluids mixing together, with some very small cells that are produced by the disease. Well, that vile fluid is just crawling with it. I found that there's a new breed of virus. It would be quite an extraordinary discovery if Equestria's situation was slightly a bit better. How does the infection process work, you may ask? Well, once the bug's inside you, it travels via blood flow to the brain. Within 3 days, it takes over your brainstem, spinal cord, and through that, your entire body. Your heart fails soon after. We're guessing that's the virus is doing. And then that pesky little illness forms a connection with your brain. It takes full control over your entire body, but since you're now dead, it no longer has a source of nutrients to keep the virus cells alive. Therefore, it uses the body to find food. Right now, we have no idea why it favors living ponies over ordinary food. The bigger problem, however, is a cure. It'll require us to use something that can remove unwanted cells from your brain. Currently, we have nothing that can do that without killing your brain with the virus. The only real cure we know results in the death of the patient. Most frighteningly, we've discovered that it's on the brink of another mutation. We're hoping that it makes it less deadly, but since we have no knowledge on this new virus whatsoever, for all we know, it could give it supernatural freaking powers. Anything that makes us more critical will likely result in the extinction of the pony race. I have a team of scientists working around the clock to find out where this came from, and how it has connection with these damned storm clouds all over the place. Wow, this is serious. How long do you think we have before it mutates? Judging from our test results, I'd say about 5 days. 5 days? That's it? Do you think you can engineer a vaccine by then? I hate to break your spirits, but I highly doubt it. There's nothing you can do. So, we all have to sit and hope it doesn't cause any more problems? Hate to say, but yes, that's all any pony can do. Damn. I better tell the princess. Her sister's infected, after all. I know about Luna. Damn shame. That it is. Rainbow Dash let out a soft sigh and turned away. Thank you for the information, Doctor. I'm sorry for interrupting your research. It's fine, darling. We don't have much else to do anyways. We're running out of supplies and our equipment is barely running. Rainbow Dash's ears perked up. Is there anything I can do to help? Not sure you can handle it. There was an accident out near the eastern part of the Everfree. A huge amount of top-grade medical supplies and equipment. A shipment from a zebra land. I had Celestia send out a team of those guards of hers. And that was 5 days ago. They're still gone. We sent them with a chariot. It shouldn't have taken a day at the most. I fear the worst. After all, that region is known to be infested with the infected. And I mean, infested. I couldn't send such a beautiful mare like you in there. Can it, old man? I can handle myself better than you might think. I'll be going there when I have the chance. Test tube sighed. All right. Be careful. I'd hate to see you get infected. I'll be fine. I'll give you supplies when I get the chance. Excellent. You're doing a great thing. Rainbow Dash smiled and left the lab, returning to Celestia and Twilight. Twilight was sitting on the ground, levitating a cup of tea. She found me in the Crystal Empire. I swear, she gave me a heart attack. I was so worried about my friends before she found me. Then we all took the train to Ponyville and found Applejack, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. Rarity had, well, she and Spike... Twilight was telling Celestia the story of her survival, and on the last few words, she started to tear up. It's all right, Twilight. Celestia tried to comfort her student. We've all lost something. Hello! Rainbow Dash yelled, making herself known as she trotted into view. I found out some things on the virus. It apparently takes over your brain and kills ponies to supply the virus with nutrients, since the host is dead and can't be the source. They aren't anywhere near a cure. Oh, and it'll mutate in 5 days. Rainbow Dash tried to seem cheerful, but she didn't know if she succeeded. That's terrible, gasped Twilight. Yeah. I'm gonna go talk to the others, responded Dash. She wanted to see how the rest of the group was faring. Dash trotted outside and immediately spotted Pinkie Pie. To her great relief, her hair had poofed back up, and Pinkie was once again wearing a large smile on her face. Oh, hey, Rainbow Dash! Pinkie bounced over to Rainbow Dash. Hi, Dash responded. How are you? Is the princess okay? Isn't the city great? Good, yes, and yes. How are you, Pinkie? I'm good. The bite I got at the bakery at Ponyville's healed up. Dash's jaw dropped. You were bit? Well, sort of. It was an itsy-bitsy little snap. Didn't even hurt. And I would be sick if it was a real bite. Right, Rainbow Dash? Yeah. I guess that's right. Why didn't you tell any pony? I don't know. I was really sad. You saved my life, didn't you? Yeah. Me and Applejack. Thanks. Pinkie wrapped her arms around Rainbow Dash, locking her into a giant, crushing hug. Good to have you back, Pinkie. Rainbow Dash had to force out the words. She couldn't breathe. You're such an awesome friend. Thanks, Pinkie. I can't breathe. Oh, yeah, sorry. Pinkie lessened her grip, but kept up the hug. Rainbow Dash wrapped her right arm around Pinkie's shoulder, patting her back. After a few minutes, they let go of each other. Where's AJ and Fluttershy? Rainbow Dash asked calmly. Fluttershy went to the garden to see the animals. Applejack went to buy some apples. She said she wanted to taste an apple one more time. Pinkie answered enthusiastically. Thanks. I'm gonna go catch up with them. Rainbow Dash didn't want to spoil Pinkie's good mood with the news about the mutation. Instead, she went along and, with the help of wandering civilians, found the apple stand. Applejack was staring at a bright red apple, sadness lingering in her eyes. She didn't notice Rainbow Dash as she walked over and sat beside her. You all right? Rainbow Dash questioned, concerned. Applejack jumped. Yeah, it's just... reminds me of home. Before all this happened, you know? It reminds me of my family. Applejack responded, gesturing towards the apple. I wish I could go back to bucking apples and being with y'all. Every pony wishes things were back to normal. We can't let any of this get to us. I know, Sugar Cube. It's just... I'm tired. I don't know how long I can fight off the feeling. That feeling that we're all doomed. You're the strongest pony I know. You can hold out. Applejack sighed. Yeah, you're right. I have to keep going. For my family. A small tear rolled down her cheek. Rainbow Dash put a hoof on Applejack's back. I have to go talk to Fluttershy. She's probably not doing too well. Will you be okay? Of course, darling. Thank you. Rainbow Dash nodded and took off towards the Canterlot Gardens. Fluttershy was spotted almost immediately. She was laying on the grass, speaking softly to a small squirrel. Hi, Fluttershy. How are you holding up? Rainbow Dash trotted over to where her yellow friend was conversing with her animal friend. Fluttershy squeaked and jumped, then turned, while blushing with embarrassment, and greeted Rainbow Dash. Oh, hi, Rainbow Dash. I was just talking to my little friend here. How are you? I'm fine. You never did tell me what happened to you when this whole thing started. Oh. Fluttershy looked uncertain. I got terribly sick that night. I tried to go to the hospital, but I was too weak to move. I was throwing up this disgusting black stuff. My critter friends were worried about me too. I ended up falling asleep. In the morning, some pony knocked. I didn't want to answer because I was embarrassed about the mess I had made, and I didn't want any pony to see it. He kept knocking and knocking, hitting the door really hard. I started to get scared. I thought he was going to rob me. So I snuck out the back door, taking Angel with me, and I flew away, as fast as I could. When I got back to Ponyville, I saw the whole town was acting strange, so I hid, until Applejack found me. And I'm here, now. Wow, Fluttershy, you got pretty lucky. Where's Angel? Oh, well, while we were hiding, I couldn't get him any food, so he ran away. Fluttershy looked like she was about to cry. It's okay, Fluttershy. You don't need to say any more. You got us now, and we're safe. Fluttershy smiled weakly. I know, and you're the most wonderful friends ever. She gave Dash a brief hug, and went back to talking to the squirrel, who was looking warily at Rainbow Dash. Dash didn't tell any of her friends about her mission. She didn't want them to worry about her. They were dealing with enough stress as it was. Rainbow Dash slowly opened her eyes, and waited for a bit, for them to adjust to the darkness. Princess Celestia had given her and her friends a spare bedroom. Soren, Applejack, Twilight, Fluttershy, and Pinkie Pie were all sleeping soundly. Rainbow Dash slipped out of bed as quietly as possible, and tip-trotted out of the bedroom. The hallways outside were dimly lit, and completely devoid of life. Rainbow Dash, still trying to be quiet, sneaked down the hall towards the exit. She stopped when she heard loud voices from around the corner, coming her way. Oh crap, she thought, and frantically looked for a place to hide. Luck was on her side as she spotted a bright marble pillar. If she squeezed behind it, the two guards would never spot her, unless they were really searching for hiding ponies, which they were not. Rainbow Dash smiled and slipped behind the pillar, which was the opposite of comfortable. Dash was being smashed between hard marble and cold stone, but it was worth not getting caught. The guards walked on by, completely oblivious. Dash waited until she was sure that they were gone, and breathed a quiet sigh of relief. It took a little effort to slip out of the hiding place, and it created a little noise, but thankfully no pony was within earshot, and Dash remained undetected. Then came the real challenge. The doors of the castle. Rainbow Dash took almost an hour opening and closing the gates. Because of their size, they also made them really loud. Finally, she was in the clear. The guards at the force field let her through without questions, and Rainbow Dash had grabbed several large saddlebags to hold all the supplies before she had left. And once she was out of the Canterlot, Dash took to the air and flew to the Everfree, almost fast enough for a sonic rain boom. The entire journey took about 4 hours. Finally, she spotted a large carriage, lying in pieces on the ground, right at the edge of the Everfree. The burn marks made it look like it was hit with a spell, but it wasn't Dash's position to figure out what had really happened. What mattered was what the carriage contained, and how it could potentially save all of Equestria. However, she couldn't just take it. No, that'd be too easy, right? There were infected everywhere, at least 100 of them, and they were all over the carriage. There were several white metal boxes lying on the ground, all of them having a red cross on them. Along with that, she could spot medical tubes, syringes, and chemical bottles full of unknown liquids everywhere. It was like a gold mine. Now, what to do about them? Dash pondered several possible solutions before her eyes came across a dead body, obscured from the infected's view by a couple of bushes. Dash just had to hope it was still fresh enough to be appetizing for the undead. Shuddering, she swooped down and grabbed its arm, lifting it up into the air, and dropped it, about 20 yards away from the carriage. The body's impact on the ground produced a loud thump. Most of the zombies turned their heads and moved towards the corpse, though some of them stayed where they were. And Dash knew she could easily handle them, and dive-bombed her fierce target. After breaking its neck, she turned and punched the next right in the jaw, ripping it off and knocking the zombie into a small tree. It was impaled by a branch and thus made immobile. Rainbow Dash picked up a rock and beat the third zombie down. Another one grabbed her arm, straddling her. She shook her arm violently, causing the zombie to lose his grip. However, another one grabbed her from behind. She pushed her left foreleg into its forehead, keeping it from ripping a chunk out of her shoulder. The other zombie she had shook off, took its chance, and tried to get her. Panic took over her mind, and she flailed her legs. The zombie in front of her took a powerful kick to its soft underbelly, ripping several organs out and stunning it. The zombie behind her roared in frustration and put in more effort. The zombie in front recovered and came in for the kill. Dash let out another kick, ripping the zombie's head off, and dark crimson blood splashed out, and when the zombie hit the ground, a very large puddle had already formed around its neck and shoulder. Rainbow Dash elbowed the one behind her, with her right arm, knocking it down. She turned and stomped its head in, leaving red string-like material all over her hoof. The commotion had attracted two more undead. She grabbed a broken tree branch off the ground and swung it at them, smiling at the cracking noise the impact produced. Both infected dropped to the ground, brains showing. Taking the opportunity, Dash started tossing supplies and medical equipment into the saddlebags. She had her doubts that it would all fit in, but she managed, and made one last sweep to make sure she didn't miss anything important. Looking up, Rainbow Dash realized that the undead had finished eating the body and were returning to their spot. They obviously saw Rainbow Dash, and they were all whooping and roaring, and moving as fast as their rotting limbs could manage. Shit! She cursed and took off into the air. Flying was more difficult and tiresome because of the added weight, but adrenaline and fear kept her going, and she reached Canterlot at sunrise. The guards eyed the saddlebags suspiciously, but once they saw what they contained, they let Dash through without hesitation. She again snuck through the castle, this time to the labs, then threw on the coat and mask, and rushed through the door. The two jerk-offs at the bottom let her through this time, after recognizing her. She found Test Tube in the same room and tossed him the saddlebags. He opened them, and upon seeing what they contained, formed the biggest smile Rainbow Dash had ever seen. "You did it! I can't believe it. We owe you all our lives. You just helped every pony that still draws breath in this world." Test Tube was jumping up and down, doing a little dance of happiness despite his age. "I had a little trouble, but I'm fine. Make them count." She returned the smile. Test Tube grabbed her and gave her a big bear hug, almost crushing her to death. "Right. Now, to start on that cure.